Africans will never change, honestly. And that is why when Black Americans were literally reacting to this particular video, and they're specifically saying she's doing this because she's Africa, she's an African lady, I am not feeling bad, honestly. This particular video has made this young lady to lost a lot. She's losing followers, she's losing revenue, she's losing supporters, she's getting backlash at the same time. Because how can you be in such situation and you still assume that it is normal? And guys, I don't know if you guys have seen this video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And as an African person, I'm so disappointed, honestly. But anyways, you guys should watch first. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, let's go watch. I'll be back with commentary so that you guys can listen and then see.
And every time I've gone out with a white person, I get really insecure over my blackness and feel like it's something that we kind of have to just mutually decide to overlook, and something that I need to put a lot of effort into, just like being a white girl in every other regard, right? And this will come out with like little, like I would like want to act like my music taste wasn't what it was, or like certain inflections. Like I don't have a black accent, but if it ever came out in some way, like just getting insecure, like thinking hard about that. Literally even something stupid like twerking. I'm not even joking. Like if we're like dancing, having a good time, whatever, and like I want to throw some cake, and I'm like, oh my god, it's not too black. It's not gonna be too black for you. Like just these little ways that I would start to micromanage myself around a white person. Now, 100% there are white people who make you feel like you need to micromanage yourself like that. But I've actually found in reflection that like a lot of the white people that I've engaged with romantically, like they are way more celebrating and okay with me being a unapologetically black girl and doing my black girl stuff. Like they're more okay with it than I am half the time, because like they know what they're getting themselves into. You know what I mean? I am me and I'm unapologetically me and I show up how I show up. So if you're into me, then like most of the time they've already made the calculation that that's something that they're okay with. So then my trying to like walk back these parts of me that they're pretty much already aware of, like I don't know, they know that I want to throw cake sometimes or something, like why would I start walking that back as if they didn't already know that and that was not already a thing that they liked about me and accepted about me? I don't know, I just think like dating white people can be trippy sometimes, but I don't mind it. I'm not the kind of black girl that's like not gonna date white people. I have full respect if you don't want to, but I'm okay with it. Like I'm sorry, you know, some of them are cute, like some of them are cute, and every time I'm
Yo, that Paris girl needs help, big dog. Like, and fuck all that crying shit. Don't come over here with that shit. I don't give a damn. Bro, I seen a video. First, I seen the stitch, but then I went to the stitch, and obviously her video is gone. And so somebody had recorded the audio. I'm gonna play the audio for you.
And every time I've gone out with a white, if it ever
Girl, shut your stupid ass up, man. Oh my fucking God, bro. I've never seen somebody so anti-black. You know what I mean? And I don't care if she's African. Like, she's anti-African. Like, it's so crazy. I've never had to dumb down my blackness. I'm not against interracial relationships. I don't give a damn if, you know, because you never know when you found that person that you love, right? You never know. I don't give a damn about that. Like, I'm not arguing about that. But it's the fact that you feel like as a African woman, as a black woman, that you have to dumb down yourself just to be with a white partner. And that's what we keep telling y'all. Like, there are literally people out there that are chasing whiteness. What are you talking about, bro?
This is my hot take on Paris. I used to follow her and immediately I was really charmed. I thought she was super intelligent. And then she started posting more. I realized a lot of her takes are blanket statement, misogynistic, and very intersectional and one-sided. Just because somebody talks fast and appears intelligent doesn't make everything they say right. And obviously, as humans, we're not always going to agree on every single topic. That wouldn't make any sense. We would all be uniform and the same. But Paris, time and time again, has had these horrible takes that are just so bad and terrible. I'm the first to say I'm the biggest feminist in the world. Most of my friends are white women. I grew up in a white area. My best friends are white women. I love white women. But with that being said, you can't make a blanket statement about feminism like that. There are different parts of feminism. There's Black feminism. I would highly suggest watching the post-Civil War film Birth of a Nation. And because they're women, that blanket of femininity often protects them. This was used post-Civil War, women's suffrage rights. This goes so forth. Like I'm literally the biggest history junkie. And Paris's takes on other things just scream slightly conservative, especially when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community and other topics. I just can't support her content anymore. Like I was so down for it and I just can't.
And every time I've gone out with a white person.
She stated that her womanhood will always be seen before her blackness. This is her directly admitting her blackness will always be seen before her womanhood. Anti-black people have to be the most wildest thing in the world. And whether you want to call her African or anything else, she is still racially black. This woman said that she would choose allyship with a white woman first. Understand, she will also choose allyship with a white woman over black women as well, because it had nothing to do with her being a woman and everything to do with her being black. And we tried to say this. She has an inferiority complex when it comes to white people. It is obvious. And this is why we say there is a difference in the ideology of immigrants versus black people in America. This is a white supremacist feminist in the body of a black woman. And this is also why I would never say that black feminism is the same as white feminism, because they're not. They're not viewed the same. They are not the same. They will never be the same, because white women have a direct connection and correlation to the oppression of black women. And you cannot truly be a feminist if you cannot recognize that. So therefore, she is not just anti-man. She is also anti-black woman.
Nah, I pray for Paris. I just heard that audio and it's devastating.
And every time I've gone out with a white person.
That anyone would have that thought process toward themselves in the big old age of 2026. As a black woman, say that you have to lower your blackness, your black girl magic, mind you, when you're dating white men. That is the most devastating thing I've ever heard. I mean, I guess I'm not going to go to that extreme because there's devastating things I hear every day. But that is just a really devastating thing to hear from a black woman I followed for a while, who I feel is very progressive. Lower her self-worth to uplift white men. That's crazy.
She's suburban, and her parents probably didn't take her to African gatherings. I think that's pretty much one of the reasons why Paris felt the need to make that video about dating white people or non-white people in general, you know? Because, like, for me, I mean, I guess I was more urban. I was urban, obviously. And I did go to African gatherings. But I never felt like, dang, bro, I'm not black enough. Because it's like, I already know who I am or what I like to do, whatever. Like, me doing a specific thing isn't going to make me more black or none. It's just like, I'm just going to be a different type of black person, you know? You shouldn't let people, like, dictate your blackness based on the things that you do or not, because it's like, what determines it is really just like, obviously, if you're cooning or not, or, you know, I don't know, just be who you want to be.
Everybody's been talking about the Paris situation and been talking about how, like, just like her self-hatred for herself. But the thing that's confusing me is everybody's saying she's like that because she's African. Like, I don't know how people turn this from an issue that stems from her close proximity to white people her whole life, considering she was born and raised in America, into, oh, she's like this because she's African. Like, it really doesn't make any sense. And it kind of just pushes, like, a lot of ignorant ideas that people have about African people. Like, are there African people who are xenophobic towards African Americans? Yes, that is true. Do African people worship white people, however? Because I say worship white people because I saw somebody say this. That is untrue. Because, like, there are a lot of people of color in this country who are just as self-hating as her and who feel like they need to dial down the things that, like, are culturally of their race. You know, there's a lot of Asian people who feel just the same as her, a lot of African American people, a lot of Hispanic people. And it's all because of their proximity to whiteness their whole lives and not having a community of people who look like them and celebrate the fact that they look like them. Like, it has nothing to do with her being African. And I don't know, like, the people I've seen talk about it, like, throwing in and trying to make it as if it's an issue because she's African, it seems like some kind of excuse to be xenophobic. I don't even know how you got to that conclusion. Because, like, if she's anti-black, why would she like her culture? Like, why would she like the fact she's African? Why would she like her ethnicity or embrace it when she can't even embrace her race? Like, those two things go hand in hand. And one thing about African people, they're extremely egotistical. I think African people are sinfully prideful about their culture and about the fact that they're from Nigeria or Mali or Gambia or Senegal or South Africa. We're all very proud of where we're from. We're very proud of our cultures. Even the weird African people who like to be xenophobic towards African Americans, the weird thing that they like to keep saying is, oh, but you don't have a culture and I do. Even the weird people are still very, very proud and very, like, egotistical about where they come from. That is the way everybody should be, low-key. Like, that's the way I think everybody should be. Like, you should be proud of your culture. You should be proud of where you come from. And that is the one thing that African people are consistent with. So it definitely has nothing to do with the fact that she's African. It instead has everything to do with her environment growing up. Because the thing is, she was born in America. She was born and raised here. So it's like your environment growing up is going to affect you more than just your household. Like, you can assume that maybe her parents are, like, xenophobic towards African Americans. They could be, who knows. But the fact that she went to school most likely with just white people, neighbors, white people, everybody around her white, that is automatically going to outweigh her home life. So no, her being African has nothing to do with that whatsoever. Because if she feels the need to dial down anything that makes her black, she feels the same way about anything that makes her African. Please and thank you, guys. Like, let's stop saying that. Thanks.
I'm so sorry to be talking about people on my For You page. Paris is like a child in my eyes. That, you know, the feminist, I'm a woman before I'm black, that girl. Paris, I saw your video saying that when you date people who aren't black, particularly white people, you feel the need to hide your blackness, to like put it away and try to ignore it. You do not need to be dating, babe. You need to be in therapy. I would go as far as recommending group therapy. I've been in group therapy. You need to talk to a therapist for a few months. Get them, like, have them hear what the fuck you've been talking about and going through and feeling. And then you need to ask them to put you in, like, refer you to a group therapy setting. Do the homework together if you need to, if they can't do it on their own. And you need to talk this out and figure this out. And you need to stop dating immediately. If that's something you are feeling while dating, you need to stop. You do not know yourself. You do not like yourself. And you need to get to know yourself and what you want and what you like. You do not need to wait. Like, I feel like a lot of people wait until like they're older to figure these things about themselves. Like, no, you need to start now. Go to therapy now. Talk about it in a group setting now. That is crazy, girl. I'm going to tag her. That is crazy. That is very sad and that is pathetic. Like, girl to girl. That is so sad and you need to work on that. Do not post anything like that again on the internet. Ever again. That is something you say for your therapist in a journal. Girl to girl. Older girl to younger girl. I'm not even going to shit on you. People are like... One of you just made a video and it was very kind, but the other videos I've seen, they're not nice. And honestly, I don't think they should be. And that's really unfortunate. That's the unfortunate reality. I don't think they should be. That's a really strange thing to say out loud. Honestly.
This might be my last Paris Morna video. I only made one on her because I don't want to see like a hating ass bitch. But she made this video about dating white, right? And she talked about having to hide parts of her identity and, being insecure about her race and having to hide parts of like her music taste and having to dive deep more into a personality of a white girl. And it's like maybe if you jumped into the part of your feminism that requires to see yourself as a black woman first, maybe that would help you in instances when it comes to interacting with people of other races and also dating interracially. Because the problem with Paris seeing herself as a lesbian who is a woman first before she's black, okay, that's cool. But now you're seeing yourself as a woman first before you're black. Now you're disregarding your identity and everything else that might matter to you when you're dating outside of your race, which is going to matter when you're dating outside your race. And there's important decisions like, getting married, meeting the family, maybe if you guys want to have kids or something like that. Those are important things to consider dating outside of your race. And it's just sad to see when it's like, I've seen, when you grow up in the Midwest, bro, you see so many old and young POC people like this, and it's so exhausting and embarrassing, but it's deep down really sad to see a lot of POC mask themselves and shrink themselves to the smallest ethnic point they can of their ethnicity just to fit in with white people or fit into the proximity of whiteness. And it's like, you don't have to do that. You genuinely don't have to do that. And the reason that I know it's a choice for her is because I don't see her talking about dating black women, dating other races of women. So it's just like, this is all giving a choice. This is the content, the I'm woman before I'm black thing. All of this is giving a choice that you're deciding to dabble in. This is giving a water that you're deciding to jump in. I don't see her talking about black issues. I don't see her talking about when young black kids go missing or nothing. None of that. So it's just like, I see what side of the total pole you lay on, and we're good on that. But it's like you're actively harming yourself in that same sentiment.
I just had to block that Paris girl because, and honestly, I'm talking about both Paris. The Paris that talked about being bisexual, but she would never date women, and the Paris that talks about being a woman before she's black and how that just is misogyny to say otherwise, as if intersectionality doesn't exist. Misogynoir literally was a term coined to talk about the fact that black women experience racism, sexual abuse, sexism, hell, even transphobia. There are so many black women that are discriminated against based off of transphobic views, like women not being able to compete in sports because their hormone levels they have too much testosterone. Like, black women that aren't trans women are literally facing the brunt of transphobic attacks, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. And the fact that she was liking comments saying that she did nothing wrong, but you apparently don't read your comments, yeah, I'm clocking your tea. You have to know that we are not free until the most marginalized are free. And to talk about womanism and talk about women needing to be saved and misogyny and not recognize that black trans women are being killed at alarming rates for being black and a woman and trans at the same damn time, and literally only for that reason, because this world hates, like, globally black women are abused just for being black and a woman at the same time. You don't get to choose. When you're a black woman, you don't get to choose to put your womanism or your womanliness first. It's always seen as all of you. It's always all-encompassing. You don't get to choose one or the other. You are literally attacked for both things at the same time at all times. I need her to understand intersectionality. I need her to read. She's young, but being young does not give you the right to be ignorant, because I was young and I was taking African American studies classes and I was learning about gender, race, sex, class. Even dark-skinned black women are targeted by the police and will go to jail at alarming rates, especially when they're dark-skinned. Like, colorism and all of these things, like, it's all-encompassing. When you're a black woman, it's all-encompassing. And yeah, this was long-winded, but I just had to block her because I don't need to see any of her texts rolling up on my timeline. I'm over it.
Paris is a product of her environment. And before we continue to dogpile on a 21-year-old black girl, I just want to stop and think for a second about why she might be thinking and acting the way that she does. Because I don't think that we talk enough about the effects of raising your kid as the only one in an all-white environment. For generations, black and immigrant parents have kind of bought into this belief that sending your kid to the white, high resourced environments, schools, neighborhoods was the ultimate sign of making it and the key to giving your kids the ultimate access to the resources that they needed to succeed. But that way of thinking has conflated material access with real safety for black children. As someone who grew up in a predominantly white environment throughout my childhood, I can honestly say that when you isolate your kids from their own community, it makes it hard for them to really understand the full meaning of their race, because race stops being a shared grounding experience through which they can understand their identity. So when I see people get frustrated with Paris's kind of thin takes that are grounded in white feminism, I can tell that they're misunderstanding the role that her upbringing likely truly shared in shaping her understanding of the world, her race, and her gender. She grew up in an environment where white women were her primary reference point for her identity. And if the majority of the women that you are around do not look like you, then your idea of black womanhood is going to be warped. I think sometimes people think that growing up as the only black person in an all-white environment will teach you about systemic racism because, oh, of course, they must have treated you so differently. But that's really not always the case. Instead, it kind of just makes you hyper aware that you are different without giving you the language to really understand what you're experiencing and why you feel that way. When your only lens on your race is, oh, I just look different than everyone around me, you end up just seeing yourself as essentially, and I hate to say it, a white person in black skin. And I think that Paris, whether she wants to express that consciously or not, that is kind of how she is living her life. That is how she seems to formulate a lot of her takes. And I can understand why it might be difficult for her to feel fully aligned or similar or connected with other black people, because in her mind, she is seeing connection with people who grew up like her. And if everyone who grew up like her looks different than her, then why would she feel that connection? And this just goes back to what I'm saying about how black parents, we really need to be thinking about the way that we are raising our kids and the environment that we are putting them in, because race is not just an aesthetic. It's not just the way that you look or the way that you talk. It is an experience. And when you deprive your children of that experience, the cultural tradition part of race, the cultural practices, the daily expression of your culture, they will struggle to truly understand what it means to be black. They will. Paris is living proof of what happens when you raise a black child in racial isolation with zero black community, zero black third spaces to ground their racial identity in. And as a black woman who grew up the exact same way and now is raising a black child, I refuse to equate what is best for my child with what is whitest or even most resourced, because that's equating to me privilege with preference. Now, we know that for decades, it's been kind of this misconception in the black community that sending your child to the white school, raising them in the white suburbs, that is the sign that you made it, and that it's a way to kind of ensure success for your child because they're not going to be exposed to quote unquote negative influences. But even if you look back just a few decades ago, when there was a bigger role of, for example, the black church, even if a black kid went to a majority white school during the day, they had access to black third spaces like the black church, black family networks, like Jack and Jill, regardless of how you feel about it, and local community on the weekends where they were able to be surrounded by people who looked like them and could give them context on some of the things that they might have been experiencing, and also just expose them to some of the cultural traditions of black identity. And we really downplay the role of tradition and cultural practice when it comes to race, and expect black children who were not raised in black community and black tradition to be able to fully understand their blackness despite only being immersed in white cultural expectations, white cultural practices their entire childhood. So when we think about today, we have to also understand that the black kids that grew up in the white suburbs now have much less counter narrative to the white-centric worldview that they're being continuously exposed to at school or in their white neighborhoods. Because it's just not enough to be growing up with black parents. You need to also be getting the experience of the black community in some form or fashion. So we have to stop expecting Black young people who were raised in complete racial isolation to magically have a deep, grounded connection to Black culture. We owe the next generation of Black people real community in our culture, not just proximity to whiteness. So I want to push those of you who have thoughts and feelings about Paris, especially if you are a parent, to think more about what are you doing to build communal spaces for Black children and to help them continue to feel connected to their culture. Because if you are not doing those things, if you are not the auntie, the uncle to a Black child in your life, then you are not doing your part.
Time I've gone out with a white person.
Let me just say this. You have to be confident in your Blackness in any space that you are in. And watching this video or hearing this audio, I realized two things about this young lady, Paris. One, I feel like she tried to overcompensate herself in order to seek some sort of validation from her white peers or white audience. And two, I feel like she kind of low-key hate herself. Like, I'm learning that as I watch her videos and listen to her commentary about things. I'm like, this girl sounds like she really hate herself, and it's sad. I was watching one of her videos a while back, and she said that she would absolutely side with a white woman over a Black man. And then she also said that she put her womanhood before her Blackness. And to me, that's very dangerous. If you know anything about the women's rights history or just women's history overall, you would know that as a Black woman, you would never want to side with a white woman. Now, granted, I understand that Black men have a lot of things that they have to fix in terms of their behaviors and whatnot. And I understand why a lot of Black women sometimes have some sort of resistance or resentment towards Black men. But what I can say is that Black men are not voting against your rights. Black men are not the one who were trying to enslave you. Black men were not the ones who were trying to take away your freedom, okay? If Susan B. Anthony was alive, she would not want you to have any sort of rights. And that's a white woman, right? And you have to also think about how white women treated Black women during the women's rights or women's suffrage movement. You have to think about that. And you also got to think about how white women perceive Black women in any given circumstances. So for you to even say something like, oh, I would side with a white woman over a Black man, and I put my womanhood before my Blackness, or that, I stand in solidarity with a white woman, is a very dangerous thing. I'm not saying that women shouldn't stick together and unite to fight against patriarchy. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you're essentially trying to degrade and demean Black people in order to uplift white people, and that's not okay at all.
The whole Paris situation is exactly why I say not all Black people act the exact same way. Not all Black people think the exact same way. Y'all expect her to act and think in a certain way that she's just not going to. Because she grew up in a complete different environment than most Black people. That's why y'all feel so disappointed by what she is saying. I am not surprised. She grew up in the suburb. She grew up being sheltered and being surrounded by a bunch of white people. It's no surprise why she views the world the way she views it. And it is okay. Stop expecting people to behave and say the things that you want them to say. Let her be herself. I've seen some of her content. Some of them I could agree with. Some of them I'm just like, you're a little bit off-putting. You know what I did? I blocked her because I don't care. Y'all need to stop letting people eat at you. Let her go. Let her be her. Bro, it's not that important.
I've gone out with a white person. I get really insecure over my Blackness and feel like it's...
At first I was about to be like, girl, sister, feel better. No, love yourself, love your Black self. Why do you feel this way? She's African.
What does being African have to do with any of this bullshit? I literally have seen so many Black Americans that are fucking coons. She's a coon. Her being African is irrelevant. She is simply a coon. I always thought that girl was a coon. The way that she speaks is forced. I know people like that. I personally have met people like that. Even if you grew up in the suburbs around white people as a Black person, You can tell when someone is forcing an accent to try and appeal to a more whiter audience. This girl once made a video talking about if she had to choose between a black man and a white woman, she's siding with the white woman because she is a woman before she's black. Love, you were black before you were anything because both of your parents were black, and before the doctors could even tell what gender you were, for 100% fact, they already knew you were black, right? So everybody is black before whatever they are. I think that girl is very white. She tries so hard to appeal to white people. Like she's one of those girls that try to act like she's for black people, but the truth is she's for herself. The thing is, I know characters like this. She isn't necessarily against black people, but she's trying so hard to appeal to white people. That's the best way to put it. She's very, very, very much so overly interested in the opinions of what white people think about her. She literally made a video talking about how when she's around white people, she feels like she gotta change the way she speaks. That's why she speaks the way she does. Like, did you hear the accent at the beginning of the video? I'll play it again. It's so fucking forced. It's embarrassing.
I've gone out with a white person. I get really insecure.
She's a coon, bro. I saw people hating on this girl. I thought I quickly was on defensive mode because whenever I see people hating on a black girl, I always try to find a way to defend her. But when I found out like all of these weird things about her in these videos that she's a coon, guys, I don't give a fuck what you. As soon as I find out you have some coonish behavior or you have some weird fetish for white people, or you have some weird obsession with trying to like be accepted by white people, that shit, it gives me the biggest ick. Like it made me so sick to my stomach. Like I lose all interest. I was like, I don't care what happens to her. Whatever backlash she gets, she deserves, low key.
Anyways, welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys literally enjoyed every single clip I was able to roll out for you guys. And a lot of people are pointing to the fact that she's African. Will I dispute that fact? No. No, because that's the problem. Whenever you see Africans standing with some of these white people, they want to date white people, they want to idolize white people, they want to be in their arms, they want to do this. That is what they are. They just want to impress. That is why I'm not even mad. I'm not even angry at every single black Americans or every single Americans that are saying, oh, this is coming from the point of Africa. That is how they are literally programmed. I'm African. I stay in Africa. I still live in Africa. Right. This is just how we are programmed. Minus me now, because no way. You cannot make me feel inferior of myself. You cannot make me look down on myself. You cannot make me talk down on myself. If you like, have the highest money though. If you like, be the Olemos. If you like, be the Dangote Aliko currently in Nigeria that is the richest. You cannot intimidate me, sir. That is just the truth. I don't see what you have. I don't see your skin. I don't even see your color. It's as simple as that. But a lot of them, a lot of Africans are programmed that whenever they don't idolize these white folks, something is wrong somewhere, something is going to happen to them. And I don't know where all of that shenanigans or all of that stupidity is actually coming from. How can you be with a white person because you grew up in a predominantly white space? And then you feel so inferior every time you go out with that person. Why are you even dating them if they are not important in your life? Just because of this video alone, this girl have lost massive followers. Like a lot of people are saying they are going to unfollow her. A lot of people are giving her backlash, basketballs back to back, just because of just this one stupid video that I think is not even important. I understand the fact that she's trying to express what she feels, but for someone that grew up, because according to her story and background and all that stuff, she grew up in a predominantly white space where she was literally adopted into a white family as well, and so on and so forth. So, for someone that is adopted or grew up in predominantly white space, or you left Africa, your parents left Africa with you, and then you grew up in a predominantly white space, is it not more reason for you to even have more confidence in yourself? I don't get. And you know the annoying part, some of these black girls African black girls will still go ahead to date these people even when they are feeling inferior, even when they knew that they're not comfortable with the space that they are. They will still want to date. They will still want to be with that person. They will still want, just because they want to prove to their other African people, I'm with a white man. I'm not against anybody dating any white man. I'm not against anybody marrying any white man. Everybody have their choices. Everybody have what they want for themselves. But for the fact that you're feeling inferior, you should know that that is not your space. You're not feeling okay. You're not seeing yourself as someone that is more valuable, is more crazy. I don't know what women of these days are literally turning themselves into, because women, you should be able to know yourself, know your value, know your worth at every given damn time. Nobody should intimidate you. Nobody should make you feel less of yourself. Nobody should make you feel like you're not worth it, or you're not doing well for yourself, or you're not. Hello, the moment I start feeling that way a bit, I run. It simply means that that particular environment is not for me. That particular person is not for me. What is it? Come to Black Kings. Let Black Kings make you a Black Queen. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. Credit to the original creator of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also, join my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like all this in my videos. I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye, guys. I love you guys.